So I was watching Arsenal today, and they lost against PSG, and I'm not surprised. I've been watching Arsenal my whole life. It's like a deja vu. It's the same story. They get close, not close enough. They get close, not close enough. Watching Arsenal is like watching Jennifer Lopez get married. You know the end of the story before the story even starts. She's gonna get divorced the same way Arsenal's always gonna lose in the big games. It's quite sad. And I'm not surprised. This idea that you're gonna go get an offensive-minded coach like Arteta and give him a pathetic roster like this and expect him to win is quite sad. You got a great coach. You give him a sorry left back, a sorry right back, Thomas Partey in the middle, and Mourinho as a striker. Really? You come to the Champions League semifinals. That's the best you have to offer. A right back and a left back who can pass, can defend, can make good decisions, and they're not creative on the ball. What are they good for? Just run? Just running? I was watching the left back and the right back. Timber, they were bad. They were so bad they both got taken out in the second half. It's quite sad. You just can't win like this. Mikel Marino is your striker. Really? Mikel Marino has been playing for Real Sociedad for the past 4 or 5 years. In 200 games, he's only scored 20 goals. Let me repeat that again. In 200 games, Marino has only scored 20 goals. And that's the striker that you had today, and you expected him to score goals. I felt bad for Saka because all the services, there were nobody in the box. Of course there's nobody in the box because Mikel Marino's not a striker. He doesn't know how to move in the box. He doesn't know how to make the right runs. So all of Saka's services, all of his crosses, there was nobody there. Thomas Partey is not good enough to be a midfielder in a big game like this. I'm sorry, he's just not good enough. He made too many mistakes, and one of them led to a goal. A lot of errant passes, a lot of just bad decisions in the middle of the park. You just can't win like this. If you just compare the PSG's roster to the Arsenal roster, it's night and day. You got guys like Vitinha, who starts for Portugal. You got a guy like Dembele, who's a big-time player. He's been a big-time player for his whole life. His only knock is he can never finish. You got guys like Marquinhos, who starts for Brazil. You got a guy like Mendes, who starts for Portugal. And you look at this Arsenal team, you got guys like Timber, who's never going to start anywhere. The other right back from England, who's 18 years old, he's not going to start for England anytime soon. Thomas Partey, who plays for Ghana, who's honestly quite shit. I mean, Ghana is horrible. Mikel Marino, I don't even think he gets picked on a Spain team. They're so loaded, I'm not sure he ever get picked. And that's the best you got to offer. So Arsenal went into the offseason as the most well-positioned team in the Premier League. Manchester City got an aging squad. Liverpool just lost a coach and they got a bunch of aging stars. Chelsea, I don't know what the hell they're doing. It seems like they just buy players left and right in their mama. So Arsenal had the best chances to have the best season this season, right? Because they got continuity, they got the same coach, same roster. So they kind of know, you know each other well. You got chemistry. You've been playing together, and you had a pretty good season. So you expect to make a leap and possibly contend. So instead of buying players, instead of strengthening the squad, Arsenal wants to be cheap. So they go get Sterling, who's an over-the-hill player. Sterling is so good that the only time Manchester City won the Champions League is when they let him go. And that's the player they went and got to strengthen the squad. And you expect to win? Arsenal needs to be more closer to Atletico Madrid than Manchester City. The problem is they want to copy Manchester City, but they don't want to buy players. I hate to break it to you, but in order for you to play an offensive game, you need talent. You can't have guys like Thomas Partey's and midfielders and trying to play this beautiful soccer where you attack and you play a high line. It's just not gonna work. Manchester City, they get the best talent. That's why they're so successful. So Arsenal needs to stop using this strategy of trying to be Manchester City, trying to play this beautiful game where they pass and score a lot of goals, but they don't want to spend the money to get the right players. It's just not going to work. They need to change their strategy and become more defensive minded. Because if you was really serious about contending for the title, for the Champions League or for the EPL, Julian Alvarez was open, was available this year. But wait, he 75 million now. That's way too expensive. We'd rather go get 30 for 20 mil. So he can sit on the bench on the most important game of the season. A few years ago, the biggest signing was Zinchenko. He couldn't even get on the field. And he couldn't get on the field because they had to play Timber, another horrible option. It's really sad. I feel bad for Arsenal. I feel bad for Arsenal fans because they get this witness the same nonsense year in and year out. They don't want to spend money. They want to get an offensive-minded coach, a really good coach. Arteta is a brilliant coach, but you're not giving them any option. Honestly, I don't even know how they got to the semifinals. They should have never beat Madrid. The only reason why they beat Madrid because they scored what 2, 3 goals, free kicks. You take away the free kicks, I don't think they win. So if Arsenal doesn't change their strategy on how they buy players, if they're not willing to spend money, you're better off going to get this defensive-minded coach, defensive-minded players, because with that strategy, you don't necessarily have to spend a lot of money. And that's what Atletico Madrid does. They got a bunch of guys who play hard. They got 2, 3 creative players, and that's enough. They got Julian Alvarez and they got Griezmann. Griezmann creates all the chances. Everybody else, they can swap. They can put anybody else. They can get a bunch of non-known players, a bunch of nobodies, put around them, and they'll be fine just because they'll defend. They'll defend. They'll get a couple chances, a couple counters, and that's enough. Arsenal doesn't want to do that. They want to play a high line. They want to pass. They want to attack. You can't play that style with Mon Lewis. I'm sorry. It's just not good enough. They need better midfielders. They need a better striker. And now the Liverpool striker is available. And I promise you, Arsenal is not going to spend money on him. They're gonna think Havertz is good enough. It's quite sad. And so I'm not surprised they lost. They don't change if they don't change their mindset, if they don't change their strategy, you're gonna keep doing the same thing and keep losing the same way.